As we share, as we discuss, I also want to learn from you. Karibuni sana. My experience, I've worked with different age groups. I've worked with parents who are raising boys. I've worked with adolescents. Um, I have a vast experience working with different groups, and I'm glad. As we share, we learn from each other. And like I've said, I'm glad to join this meeting and also to participate and learn more from each one of you. Do I proceed with the slides?
Yes, yes, kindly go on.
Maybe you can share the first slide. You can share the screen. As you've heard about today's discussion is about the challenges and consideration with raising a boy child. It's challenging in itself, being a mother and probably not feeling like you're helping this boy the way they're supposed to grow, the way their emotional needs and all what they require, as opposed to probably a family that is having both um, the father and the mother. But at the same time, the boys need to grow, even if it's a single mother raising that boy. Probably there are some of the things that, as we discuss, we'll be able to identify and see how they can be able to raise these boys to be probably a grown up man where they'll feel they have not missed out anything. Probably as we discuss, we'll be able to learn out of that. And beginning from my presentation, maybe the first slides, it's about the statistic and globally, single parents represent about 7.5%, and single mothers make up to about 85% of all the single parents. In sub-Saharan Africa, where Kenya lies, the highest percentage it's in highest percentage with about 32%, and then in East Asia, the lowest percentage is about 3%, and then most of the single parents are women between the age of 25 and 54 years old. Next. And perhaps even as we are discussing this topic today, one of the things that we need to put in our minds is asking ourselves is who is a single parent and what are the challenges they are going through. And from a little bit of the definition, a single parent is an individual raising a child or children alone without the presence of another partner. Maybe I can pose a question. Anyone with a different definition of a single parent can share at this point.
Maybe Lina, not a different one. Just to add something on what you are saying, that a single
Okay.
parent is can be either a male raising their own children with the absence of the other partner. So it can either be a man raising a child alone, or a woman raising their child alone. That is
Yes.
my understanding of a single parent.
Yes, yes, yes. There's a hand.
No, there is no hand, Lina. Maybe you confused my mind. So you can go on.
Okay, maybe the next slide.
I hope it's visible.
Yes, yes, yes. The second slide is
Oh, Lina, maybe you
reasons
need to
for
take.
single parents, and I've just named a few, and probably as we can discuss and even add a few things that will fall under reasons for single parent. Number one is divorce. When a husband and a wife, yeah. Am I audible enough?
We are losing you in your network. Maybe you can want to check your network. You keep on hearing you, then you disappear.
And now, am I audible?
Yes, kindly try.
Am I, okay, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, so the second slide says reasons for single parent, and number one is divorce. When divorce happens, either the husband or the wife will go with the children and end up being a single parent. When separation happens, again, either the father or the mother will go with the children. When death of one of the spouse happens, again, one of the parent will be left with the children. And then if parents were not married, probably they were in friendship or they were just having some good time, and probably as a result, they get a child and they were never married. And then the last one is by choice. You can choose to have a sperm donor and then get pregnant, and then have a child, and then decide to raise that child alone. Yeah. So I'll still welcome any other discuss. I'll welcome any other input about raising a child, about being reasons for single parent. Anybody with an input?
Lina, I think for me it is interesting when you said that
Yeah.
that someone can be a single parent by choice. It interested
Yes.
me. I got interested so much because the idea of a single parent that
Yes.
most of us would have is that
Yes.
a single parent is someone who is not really someone who is organized. You know, and for a long time the society has been so much against a single parent. So then
Yes. Yes.
this person who is making this deliberate choice to be a single parent
Hmm.
is someone who really is who has really who has a high esteem, who has um, really considered a lot. That is me. That is my feeling. I don't know what the others feel, but according to my own thinking, that this person who has chosen to be a single parent has really a lot of must have put a lot of personal you know self reflection and for them to be there. That's my take. Thank you.
Any other input?
Okay, maybe Lina, maybe we just can go on because of time.
Because of time. Okay, maybe the next slide. The next slide, here we would need to discuss about the challenges that the single parents are facing. Um, One will be understanding the emotional work. For boys, probably their emotions are different from raising a girl. And if a single parent will not be able to understand the emotions, then they will not be able to bring up this boy. Probably in a way, they're able to have an understanding environment. Um, Secondly, we have the peer pressure from the other peers. And probably if a single parent will not be able to understand that, then they will have a lot of conflict with the boy. And as a result, the boy may decide to drift away and not completely understanding the parent. And probably the parent is struggling to raise this boy in a better way that one understands. So it's also important to um, navigate through this peer pressure and find a common interest where they're able to understand each other. Then the third one is balancing independence and supervision. As they grow, they will still want that independent, but probably under controlled environment. Because you can't just let a boy grow up in their own way and doing things without being controlled. So they need to be guided, they need to be controlled, they need to be told that probably doing this is the right thing and doing that is a wrong thing. The fourth one is addressing the behavior. As they grow up, certain behavior will be manifested, maybe through the peers, um, through the social media, and through the environment where they are being brought up. So, as a parent, you also need to look out the different behaviors that the boys um, are manifesting and be able to probably talk about it. For example, the puberty stage, whereby the boy is growing up um, and, 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 and learning that there's a difference between probably the male and the female child. And if the parent is not be able to understand that, it will be difficult even to address and sitting down with the boy and even address the issues that are surrounding there. The last one is managing the screen. This is where technology comes in. Like right now, we have social media everywhere, and they can access anything they want. So even if they probably have an internet at home, you need to allow them. Yes, they can use, but under control or limited. Yeah, you come to understanding whereby whatever they are watching or whatever they are seeing, somehow you have a limit. You're able to access whatever they are seeing, whether it is a phone, a tablet, or a laptop. You're able to access and get to understand really what are they looking in the social media. What are they looking? What are they watching compared to the other peers? So when you do that, you're able to know that yes, a teenager boy, I have a boy, and whatever they are looking in the internet is not like something that will mislead them or will drift them away from their social norms, from their academics, and from what they're supposed to be doing. Um, any other contribution is welcome.
Thank you, Lina. George, you being one of the men here, and perhaps also the men here, I'm looking at this challenge. Uh, what is this? I'm just curious. What is it that is unique about the boy child in terms of balancing independence and supervision? Because every child would need to be supervised. I mean, you need to be there for your child to know what they are doing, what they are not doing, how they are doing it, just to get tabs with your child. I'm just wondering, George, maybe you can start it for us. What is this that is unique from boys that they need that kind of supervision, but again, while allowing them to be independent?
Thank you very much, Evans, for that question. I think for us to understand that question, we need to look at the boy child from their own psychological makeup and from their own developmental milestones that they normally have. If you look at the boy child, mainly you find that as they grow up, as they reach towards, or probably as they're growing up, as even before adolescence, they are um, they are very inquisitive. They are full of energy, and that's why even when you look at maybe growing up, they want to have like maybe the activities they have. They are more like playing, aggressive behaviors, and all that. And for the girl child, they'll be having more nurturance. They'll be having more like more composed, and they may want some the games which are more like geared towards rearing up. And therefore, when we talk about that sense of independence, and who as the boy grows up and they need to have their own independence, and because society has also maybe shaped the boys to say that we'll need to have a particular perspective of the child that they become like the bearers, the kind of the what do you call it, the the leaders, so to speak. Yeah? So even when we talk about as growing up, they want to experience and they want to look out for girls, they want to engage and all that, and have that a sense of that they want now to become more, they want to explore more. The girls may have that exploration, but it may be a different one. The girls could be more like exploring internally. The boys may be more external, so to speak. And also, so that, what I think Lynn is talking about, the independence aspect of it, because it's more visible, it's more outbound, and they are looking at it in terms of more engaging and more physical activities, more aggressiveness, more seeking their own identity, who am I, and all that. It's more pronounced for the boys, and therefore that independence may come in at some point. And that's why when they reach puberty, we find that they also want to they start living away from the home. The girls may grow at their home, their parents' home, from the time they are born, even until they get married and all that. But boys, at some point, they come through initiation. They may be having a home, maybe like even the homestead. Nasikia hiyo kaskota pale labda kaa peke yake, and therefore that independence now starts growing from there and seeking their own identity, seeking their own well-being and all that, going forward and all that. And therefore, for the parent, that becomes very paramount. So that now, even though they're living in the same house or the same room or maybe yeah house, at some point they need to have like a separate structure for the boy at some point. So that now that independence is kind of nurtured and grow up. And that's what I'm getting from Lena. And I think I want to agree with her. That becomes very key. So that now the boy experiences that, and he can even go out and come and have a lot of experiences. Yeah? Thinking back to you, Evans.
Uh-huh. Thank you, George. You've shared and you just reminded me this cultural practice in most of our communities where when this boy gets circumcised, he's told now you're a man, you can do things on your own. and perhaps this is an adolescent or this is a preteen. Of course, like in our community, we circumcise boys when they are still young. You can imagine that boy being told now you are a man. You can do things on your own. You, so you can imagine what this child, I don't know whether to call him child man, what will be having in mind as they are now independent. They are now a man. So then, so then that aspect of, yes, culturally you are a man, but there is this limit for you because this is where you are in terms of developmental process. Thank you so much, George. Back to Lina.
Thank you for the input. Thank you for allowing us to know the psychological part of it. And I know there are many challenges. As they grow up, there are many challenges that the boys go through. Yeah, but those are just a few. The next slide, please. So in this slide, I'll be talking about the emerging issues that comes in when raising the boy child as a single parent. The first one is emotional and
Lydia,
dependency. Um, being raised without a second
there is
parent to
me.
provide the difference. Um, a boy child will tend to depend so much on the mother, and as opposed to maybe a family where the father is, um, that dependency may end up probably affecting the boy as they grow up. Kama mshaisikia wanasema mtoto wa mama. Eh, so some boys will tend to have those behaviors even as they grow up, clinking on someone's and probably depending on women so much, as opposed to experiencing the other world where there's a father figure in that home. So a lot of dependency may affect the boy as they grow up. Secondly, is low self-esteem. Some boys will feel like they are lesser than the boys probably who are coming from a family where there's a father and a mother. So some will feel they're unwanted. There's that tag of a single mother in the community. Some people will not be able to understand why they are raising their own children without their fathers, but there are a lot of challenges they're going through. So that the boy may grow up feeling like I'm unwanted in this community because I don't have a dad. But as a single parent probably maneuver that, then they will feel, even if it's a single mother raising that boy, they will still feel it's a parent and not feeling unwanted. Um, the third one is fatherlessness. Um, some research will indicates that boys who are raised without a father in the home, so they will tend to um, maybe engage in drugs, alcoholism, because they're missing that figure, that father figure in that home. Yeah, but if the single mother is able to identify that and be able to talk to that boy that yes, we are missing, probably they're missing that father in that home and the responsibility that father would have in that home. But as they grow up, the mother needs to sit down and allow this boy to grow up and be able to teach the boy that as much as there's no father in this home, they will still that they can still raise that boy to be a man enough like any other man outside there. Um, any contribution? It's open for anyone.
Lina, there's a comment by Bermarwa Group. There is that stats or hearsay that 70% of youths in prison are from single mother house.
Yes.
Aha. I'm not so sure about that from with my own opinion, but maybe before Lina or someone else comes in. I'm not so sure about the statistics, but I hear what you are saying. And I'm looking that from all these emerging issues that are here. You know, someone feeling that they are low, they are of they are how they handle their emotions is a bit of low quality. How the worth that they give themselves is much lower. Sometimes it is damaged. And of course, that person who doesn't have uh, a mentor, a male figure, some this boy, they may not know they may not learn well, they may not learn fully some aspects of being a man, some aspects of handling themselves, conducting themselves as a man. So sometimes they might feel like, for me to be a man, I need to be tough and and even fight my way through life. And how do they fight their way through life? Sometimes they don't know the right way to fight their way through life. So for them, they might go into um, maybe unhealthy behaviors, including robbery, including assault. That is now when they feel that they are a man. So yes, Bermaro, what you are saying is very true. That this boy, because of how they look at themselves, how they view themselves, the worth they give to themselves, might drive them towards committing crimes. And yes, they will be incarcerated. I think that's a very good point. That's a very good contribution. Thank you so much. Yes, I was also interested in the part of dependency that this boy will be dependent on others. What does that mean? That means that they'll not have initiative. They'll not be able to have that strong uh, part of themselves that make decisions that is assertive enough because of the absence of the other parents. So the boy feels empty. Where is my other parent? Especially if there is no maybe uh, uh, someone who replaces the roles of the other person, like a mother figure or a father figure. True, they might actually develop this dependence. Thank you so much, Lina. Maybe you can
Thank you. Yes.
maybe you can give someone else.
Anyone else? And even probably I want to say something about the dependency thing. Some probably teenage boys will miss that affirmation. You see that affirmation from the father that yes, maybe you're doing the right thing, or yes, continue doing that thing, whatever you're doing. That affirmation part of it may not be there. So most of them would want to probably associate with ladies as opposed to men. But at the same time, they are missing out. Maybe they are missing one or two things that they need to learn from their father figure. And sometimes some will grow up with bitterness, um, probably not knowing where is my father. Why am I not having that father here? Like I'll give an example.
Yeah, right.
A grade was it grade one or grade two? They were told to draw their family members. So in this home, there was the mother. There were two boys and the mother. Their father, I think they divorced. So the boy drew the he drew the mother part of it. Then the part of the father he left it blank, and then
Oh,
he drew now the other brother. So
lakini lazima
when he was asked why that part is blank, he said, "I've never seen my father, and I don't know where
weka
he is.
sekure ndio
So I don't know even the face. I
alafu
cannot be able to
move.
draw." Yeah. So even imagining that there was a father in that home, maybe this boy didn't grow up knowing that there was a father in that house. And even having that picture of this is how the father behaves, this is how the father looks like, it may not be there. So some will end up depending on their mother a lot, a lot, a lot. I don't know. That's my thinking.
Yeah, Lina, and you're right. And I'm also looking at it from
Mm.
the part of where the single parent is a father. So this father, of course, they are going to they are going out of the house, and probably they might not have a lot of time to spend with the boy. So who do they leave the boy with? Maybe a house help. So then the the fact that there is no there the mother is not there, and perhaps this house help is not just one house help. Sometimes we keep on changing them. After a few months we change the house help, after the other one we change the house help. So this boy grows in such an environment where there is no consistency. That affirmation that you're talking about may lack from because if the father now even affirms them, but somewhere in their subconscious there is, how come I am alone, unlike the other child, unlike the other children in school. How come I am alone? There's no mother in my house. So that drowns their ability even to sink in the affirmations that the father may be able to to affirm them. Thank you, Lina.
Now we can move to the next slide. So the next one is emerging issues for now for the single parent. Number one is financial burdens. A lot of them go through a lot of financial crisis. Bearing in mind you bear the whole responsibility of being the father and the mother at the same time. We have emotional and mental stress, especially this hard economic time. Most single parents will go through a lot and sometimes probably they lack money to take care of the family. And as a result, most of them are irritable, they get angry, um, they can displace their anger to these boys without even knowing they're affecting them mentally.
Wanasambi.
Lack of support.
Eh?
Some may face stigma and isolation in the community. Some families will feel like, don't play with that boy, don't associate with that boy because they don't have a father. So as these boys from the single parents grow up, they will feel like maybe we are not wanted in this community, or maybe we've committed a crime that we don't know. Yeah. And then the last one is missing a male figure in the home or in the house. There are some responsibility that are made for male or fathers in the home. So you'll find that the single parent mom will do everything in that home. And sometimes, even as you sit down, you feel like, I wish there was a man here. I wish there was a father here to take care of one or three things. So most of them are overburdened and they go through a lot, even as they are raising these children on their own. Any input?
maybe Lynn, I can just say something for about the single parent, um, about
Okay.
their issues that surround the single parent when they are raising this boy. Um, Someone shared that after divorce, because we saw divorce is one of the causes of single parenthood. After divorce, all the friends that he had ran away from him. You know, the many friends he had ran away, so he remained alone with his son. What was the reason? The other couples or the other families felt like, now you are not one of us, you are different, so let's treat you, you are now perhaps becoming a dangerous person to around us. Even their children stopped coming to play with these man's children. You can imagine what this does. So when perhaps the child asks the father, how come so and so it does not visit us these days, or I want to go and say hi to my friends who are so and so, you can imagine what that does to the parent, because the parent knows that, he's not part of that social group again. It is a difficult thing, and this is the reason that lack of support, emotional and mental issues come in, and these parents might really be pushed off, and that is the reason we see some single parents will either neglect their children, they'll kill them. We've seen single parents killing their children. We've even seen these single parents, some of them going into alcoholism, drug and substance abuse, and they leave this boy alone, however young he is. And that is when they will now tell this boy, you are a man. You also need to, behave like a man. It becomes now even tough for this parent. How do I handle this boy? How do I behave around this boy when personally I'm overwhelmed by life of being a single parent? Thank you. Back to Lina.
Any other input before we move to the next slide? Okay, the next slide is the consideration for raising a boy child. Number one is the parent need to be supportive and warm. Boys will they will need someone who will support them whatever they are doing, and even as they grow up, they need someone who will support them to grow and navigate some of the challenges they are going through, and even just to be warm with them, other than making a lot of noise and being a bitter parent, yeah, and displacing your anger to them. So as these boys will grow up not feeling that warmth from their mother, they will want to look for it somewhere else. Yeah. So as a single parent, it's also good to just support them to grow. I know there are challenges both the boys are going through and what even the mother is going through. But it's good to support them and just be warm for them to be closer and be able to understand their needs. The second one is finding an activity that you can do with them. Maybe it can be an indoor activity or even outside. You can go to a park, you can go to a football pitch, you can try a game that they're interested, and just have that outdoor meeting and even meeting with them and trying to find out what are their needs, what are their hobbies, what are their interests. That way you're able to learn what are their needs at the same time. And then the third one is look for a good male role model. As the boys are growing up, they will still want that father figure in their life. even as they go through circumcision, they would still want that father figure, someone to reassure them that it's okay as they grow, as they have beards, as they break their voice. Yeah. So some of the changes they're going through, they would want someone to assure them that it's okay, it's normal having those changes in their bodies. But if they're growing up and no one is affirming them, no one is reassuring them that it's okay, then they would feel like maybe they're making a mistake or breaking a voice, maybe it's not normal. Yeah. But if there's that father figure, it could be an uncle, it could be a relative, it could be a family friend, someone will be able to guide this boy that yes, this is the right track, this is the right path for you to walk in. Then it helps them a lot even as they grow up. And then the last one is learn what makes them to be maybe happy, what they're interested in. When you identify that, then you're able to balance so many things in their life and be able to bring up a healthy boy with a sound mind and someone will be able to probably even socialize with other people when you realize this is their thing and this is what they need, this is what makes them happy, yeah, this is what they're interested. So when you learn some of the things that are, even if it's a small thing, it makes a lot of difference in their lives. Yeah, so it's open for discussion. Anyone with an input?
Yes, Heather.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. My name is Heather Hudson, so I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm sorry I was not available to introduce myself. So here are the considerations when raising a boy child. How do you strike a balance from getting the boy, like spoiled and, getting his way, and also ensuring that he's also supported, especially if they're for single parenting. Because sometimes I feel that as single parents, um, tend to lean on one side, and the boy may also, like play victim, like the fact that either the mom is missing or the dad is missing. So the parent tends to compensate the love just to ensure that the child gets enough support. And there's a tendency also of, overcompensating, giving over and above what is expected so that the child is comfortable. And then we end up with challenges of children who are not very active, or children who are not aggressive in terms of um, running towards opportunities. Maybe you can comment on that. Thank you.
What's wrong with this guy? Okay, thank you, Heather. I think Lina, being the facilitator, you're the one now to maybe guide us. However, I don't know what I don't know whether Rose has something or Ben Marwa, just to add on that, how to balance the aspect of supporting this boy to be disciplined, to be a good, to be well behaved, and the personal needs of this parent. Because part of what, Heather, you're asking, for me, I feel like these are personal needs. When you talk of compensation, I'm thinking of there's some inadequacy this parent is experiencing. So they are trying to fill that gap through this boy, through this child, unconsciously or consciously proving to the other parent that, you know, I'm here, I'm able to do it. And in that process, they overdo. Or perhaps it's not just proving, it is just being a parent to this boy. But because he is the one around, or because this parent is the only one present, because this parent could be having other children, they could be having girls and other boys. So the parent consciously decides to give more attention to this boy for various reasons. So that's one way of showing that there is the need, they are meeting their own needs at that point, at that moment. So then it's a very good question, Heather, that how do we balance now these needs of the parent and the ability, the need to help the child, this boy, to grow fully, to grow wholly as a man and also fit in the society. I don't know what the others think. Ben Marwa, uh,
Maybe I wanted,
yes, Lina, go on kindly.
yeah, thank you, Ada. There's need to balance that, and if it's overdone, if you overdo it, then probably you'll end up spoiling that child. Yeah. So there's need for the parent, as much as you are a single parent, and as much as you want to feel, I want to give this boy everything that he requires, without considering, am I spoiling this child? Yeah. So there's this question you need to ask at the back of your mind. Yeah. Am I striking the balance in between, providing for the child, but at the same time bringing up a boy who is not spoiled? Yeah. I know it's quite tricky, time you also you need this child. Yeah, you need to know to learn the emotional of this child. Yeah, the interest. Yeah, and just to have uh, a talk time. Mm. So if the parents are not that careful, they will lose this child at a particular point, especially at preteeny and teenagehood. At that particular time, if they are not able to balance between supporting this child and also providing for the child, yeah. So if they are not concerned, if they are not aware of that, then they will end up probably losing that child as they grow up. Yeah. So as a single parent, they need to be aware. Even as they are providing for this, are they providing everything that this boy needs, or are they overdoing it? Yeah. So it's the parent to be aware of that. That's my thought.
Thank you, Lina. Maybe you can go on because of time, or maybe you can give to someone else so that we go on.
Okay, it's okay. The next slide. There's a comment. Yeah, the next continuation of the same, ensuring constant communication. So when you're bringing up the boy, as much as we have the social media thing at the end, maybe in every home, there's need for you to just have that part that you're able to communicate with the child, like how was your day, how was school, yeah, just trying to find out um, how the boy is and what is happening in their life. Yeah, so when you do that, you're able to communicate, you're able to, the boy needs to feel safe that if there's anything that is happening in their life, they're able to come back and communicate with the mother that this and this is what is happening to me, and you're able to support at that particular time. But if there's no communication, then they might be messing up outside there. But because maybe the mother is too strict, yeah, they will not find a safe place to come and talk that this is what I'm experiencing. So it's also good to just have a constant communication, that they are free enough, have an environment where they are able to speak freely their mind, they are able to communicate, and you're able to support them. Another thing is allow him to be a male. Yeah. So some single mothers, they pamper those boys a lot, and until maybe the boy forgets that, yeah, he needs to be a man. Maybe one day he'll marry and have a family, and even that family will depend on him. So if you are pampered so much, like I mentioned about to a mama, you will not feel the need of taking a leadership in a home and probably um, being a man enough to stand up for your family. So every time you still be going back, if you want a decision to be made, you want to go back to to your mother and ask, yeah, I want to do one or two or three things. Yeah, is it right? Is it wrong? So every time you're going back to your mother, without even sitting down with your probably your wife and having a discussion and making a decision that this is what we're going to do. Yeah. And then the another one is setting limits. Yeah. So like even in the world of social media right now, yeah, you can allow them to be in those social medias, uh, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, but you can set some limit. At what time will they balance what they need to do and the time they need to be there in the media? Yeah. So you can probably give them that control. You can give them that independency and whatever they want to watch, whatever they want to see. But at the same time, you can set some limit that yes, you can do one, two, three. But ikifika hapa, then you can't do it. Or you have to do these ones before doing the other one. Yeah, but if there's no limit, a child will grow up knowing that kama ni simu, it's my phone. There's nothing that you can tell me. If it's my tablet, anything. Yeah. But if there's limit in the home that you can actually do up to here, or there are things that you're not supposed to do in that home, then they will know, yeah, nikifika hapa, I have to do something. Mhm. Because some of them, even setting a limit or saying that hii ni mbaya, hii ni mzuri, some of them are not having that. Yeah. Instead, they allow the child, unataka nini? They pamper everything that the child needs without even questioning. Mhm. Yeah. And even punishment, maybe. Yeah, that a child can mess up. What are some form of punishment that you need to punish this boy? Yeah. So the boy growing up knowing that, yeah, nikifanya hivi ama nikipita hapa kuna some consequences. Then the boy will know that. But if there's no limit, there's no discipline, yeah. So the boy will just grow up knowing that I'm everything. I cannot be controlled. Yeah. Another one, do not spoil him. Yeah. So as much as you're buying things for this boy, have that balance that you're not spoiling the boy. Yeah. There are things that it's a must for them to have, but there are things that, yeah, they can do without them. So it's you as a single parent to identify what are the things that they need, what are the basic needs that they need. And then these other things you know, do they really need to have this? And if they have, will it have an impact in their life? Then another thing, spend quality time with them. So as much as we are busy looking for money to provide for the boy, but again, do you have time for them? Do you check on them? Do you find out what is happening in their life? It's very, very important to just find out what is it that is happening in their life. As opposed to, I'm sure there are parents who do not know what is happening. They leave very early in the morning, they come back in the evening when they are asleep. So probably weekends is the only time they're having with the children. And probably 2 hours, 3 hours, and that's it. So the boy is growing up. No one is having some time with them. No one is saying, yeah, this is bad, this is good. Yeah. So for a single parent, it's also good to have that quality time with them. You can decide to be in the house or you can decide to go out. Just spend time with them. Get to learn. What is it that they want? What is it that they need at the end of the day? And then stay positive. Yeah. So try to find out what is it that I need to offer to these children. What is it that I can do that will benefit them at the end of the day? Yeah. Is it that I'm too, what did I say? Um, Maybe I'm overdoing it. Yeah. Or there's something that I'm doing that is not, I'm not able to connect with them. Yeah. So I need to sit down and ask myself, am I connecting with these boys? Am I um am I being the parent that they wish to have at the end of the day? So when you do that, then you're able to grow up. You're able to bring up a boy who will grow up knowing that this is what is supposed to be done and this is not what is supposed to be done. Any input from there?
Maybe a little bit uh, on the sixth point, staying positive. Our time is gone. Maybe we can take the next 10 minutes if the participants allow us. Now, staying positive, where the sometimes one parent will be bitter for being alone and imagining that this child will grow and then perhaps get access to the other parent who is not there as they are struggling currently. So they might transfer this bitterness, this anger towards the child. And so staying positive is very important, that now as a parent, you take it that I am raising my own child with or without the other person. So that boosts your relationship with your child. Thank you.
Again, what to consider in raising a teenage boy? Respect his space. Um, Teenagehood comes with a lot of challenges, um, a lot of growth, um, emotional, psychological, physical, and all that. And with that, it's a challenge in its own. Yeah. So a teenage boy would want to have maybe have my own room, have my own phone, my own tablet, and just have my me time without being interfered with. Yeah. So as much as we respect that space, we also need to control it. Yeah. We also need to see that what is it that they are doing alone? What is it that they're watching? What is it that they're doing probably in the social media? Yeah. So as much as you're respecting that space, you need to balance in between. What is it that is happening in their life at the same time? Then another thing, do not worry too much. For some single parent, um, they would want to worry so much. Like, how will my boy grow up? What kind of friends will they have? Maybe the family that will they have. Are they having a girlfriend? Yeah. Are they doing drugs? Especially maybe in the neighborhood, the friends that the boy is working with, maybe they are doing drug. Yeah. They're having dread. They're doing a lot of things that probably feel a mother will feel, I, apana, maybe my boy is also doing the same. But at the same time, maybe the boy is not doing that. Yeah. So it's also good to just get to know what your boy is doing. Once you understand that, then it will lessen your worries and be able to know, yeah, my boy is growing up well without fearing. Yeah, and try to understand what are the issues that they are going through. Try to understand what are the issues they're going through, what are the challenges they are doing. Grow up knowing that this is the right thing, this is not the right thing. And another one is setting boundaries. I think we have discussed earlier. Yeah. So as much as you're giving them that freedom, you also need to have that boundary. That yeah, you can do up to here, but beyond that, it's not allowed. So as they grow up, whatever they are doing, they know we can only go up to a certain place, or we can do up to a certain point. But from there, then probably we're not allowed. So as they grow up knowing that this is what we are supposed to do, this is not what we're supposed to do, then they will grow up knowing that yeah, we are doing the right thing. Then we have you'd want to meet their friends. Yeah. So a teenage boy, you'll find quite a number they have buddies. Yeah. So it's also good to get you can maybe one one day, maybe when the school are closed, you can invite the friends to come in and just get to know who are these friends, how are they behaving, and even probably going an extra mile, getting to know their parents and their families. That one will help you to lessen your worries and be able to know these are the friends that my boy is hanging out with. Yeah. And then the last one will be try to monitor their cell phones, tablets. Yeah. So when you monitor that, as much as you're giving them that freedom, yeah, kuna internet, but you also need to limit what are they watching, what are they looking up to in those social media. Yeah, are they doing a bad thing? You need to get because some of these teenage boys nowadays, some are being bullied, but they're not sharing their parents. So when you are close to them and try to understand what is it they're looking at in that media, yeah, so it'll help you to know, yeah, this is what they are looking. Maybe they are watching porn and you're not sure what they are doing. But it's also good as much as you're giving them that internet, get to know what are they watching, what are they doing with it. Yeah. How are they spending their time with that internet at home? Yeah. So that's the end of the slide. Any other input? Anyone is free to add any input.
Yes, Heather.
Thank you, Lina, for that very educative presentation. Um, Maybe just to add, we have forums that we can take our boys to that would also guide them on the expectations that we have, and this would really come through not only for single parents but even for parents who have both the father and the mother. For example, we have one program called Boys to Men by Transform Nations, and we also have in some churches you find that there are some churches that bring over, like people to talk to boys or take them through programs, transition programs perhaps, where they are moving from, they're going through the rite of passage, but at the same time, the church takes advantage of that opportunity to, to give them, like expectations, teach them life skills. So maybe just an addition towards how we could help parents is also to encourage them to subscribe to such forums They have been very helpful. Thank you. It was a contribution.
Thank you, Heather.
And again,
Yes, yes.
I wanted to, I wanted to say something. Sometime last year, we had similar forums at All Saints Cathedral. They were having forums of how single mothers will raise a boy child and even a girl child, different forums. And they had quite a number of people joining them. I don't know whether they're still having it. Quite a number of single parents went there for that training.
Okay. Thank you, Lina. Maybe can keep on maybe searching whether we can get such forums, and where we get we can share. Thank you so much, Lina, even for the presentation. We come to the end. I don't know whether Roy wants to say something as we finish, but I want to thank you all for this opportunity, and that was very informative, both from us as participants and also from Lina. Thank you. Maybe Roy, you can say something as we finish. I don't know whether you are able.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today and for coming in to listen to the wonderful presentation.